Alrighty, here we are, guys. How we doing? Making sure that like, everything is good. We got a lot of things to talk about. We'll start off with the All-Star snubs. Hope you guys are doing well. Just gonna hit record. There we go, recording in progress. Now, won't be the longest day today. I got things to do. But first off, let's read off what All-Star weekend ended up looking while we make ourselves a how do you call it, a thumbnail for this video. But yes, so if you guys hadn't been following along, Mr. Domantas Sabonis got held off the All-Star weekend. That's going to cost him almost $1.5 million. Isn't that insane? So yeah, I want to hear your guys' opinion. Should have he been an all-star? Who else is on that list that maybe you thought was supposed to be an all-star? But let's just read off who the NBA All-Stars are. NBA All-Stars this year are, all right, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Paul Banchero, two guys that everybody knew that was making the list. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, KD, Tyrese, Dame, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Paulo Banchero, Stephen Curry, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Davis, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Julius Randle, Carl Anthony Towns makes up your all stars for this year. And I don't blame them. It makes sense. So for me, I do think there are a few snubs. I mean, nobody on Darren Fox or, like I said earlier, Darren Fox or Mr. Tomatis Sponis should have been there. Who else should have been on that list? I mean, I feel like I feel like for the most part, when we do All Stars, I mean, Trey Young should be on that list. It's been 2 years in a row with no Trey Young, which is like absolutely incredible to think about because he's averaged 25 and 11 for the past two seasons, which blows my mind that they just won't put him in there. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the All Star teams? Are you against them, for them? There was a trade yesterday. Steven Adams was traded to the Houston Rockets for the Houston Rockets agreed to acquire Steven Adams, who's out for the season, for Victor Oladipo, who's out for the season, and three second round picks. Adams is out from the season with a knee surgery, and he'll serve as a backup center to Alperen Şengün. The Rockets had interest in trading for Robert Williams III, but they probably thought, hey, this is a better bargain than what we would pay for Robert Williams, even though, what's his face loves himself some Time Lord. I do think it's interesting to see how this is all going to play out because, I'm definitely a fan of the move because you had a great, great backup center in Mr. basically the best rebounder in the league, Steven Adams. So I think they're happy with that, in my opinion. And I mean, it makes sense. If I'm dumb, I'm over here just trying to make sure that we're staying ready and taking advantage of any deals that we get. Because basically, you're getting Steven Adams for three second round picks. Pretty unreal. Pretty good deal. Like that's a guy that, if healthy, could go for a first round pick. So I mean, he did also like avoid doing normal treatment. So take it with a grain of salt. We're not going to overhear. We knew he did some dumb stuff, but yeah, I think obviously Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox not making it hurts a bit more than you would think. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the NBA trade deadline, everything that we're hearing, and if there's any expectations for anything else. I'm trying to think if also it's crazy that it's pretty crazy to think about the 65 game rule. People are just acting as if it's like going to happen. But you know, who cares? So let's get right into today's videos and talk about each thing. So the first one we're gonna talk about seems to be Nick Claxton. It's gonna be a guy that seems to be climbing up the rumor mill, whether you like it or not. Seems to be a guy that's drawing interest across the league, depending if you care or you think he's valuable. You're gonna have interest in this conversation. So basically, what we're hearing is Nick Claxton is more available leading up to the trade deadline than we thought previously advertised. As according to Mark Stein of the Stein line, not the circles, but the questions surrounding Claxton are how much you got to pay him. So, and he's set to become an unrestricted free agent this summer, which means you could probably get him at a decent rate. Now, Claxton, he has kind of been stat chasing and not really impacting wins. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, Spencer Dinwiddie are all most likely to be traded before the deadline. We got Jackson joining the call. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Are you at your dad's or your mom's?
I'm at my mom's.
That's scary. You moved out the basement?
Yeah, I'm home alone. I'm watching the kid.
That's fun. Is your mom out of town?
Yeah.
You don't seem happy.
It's just 8 a.m. It's just the time change.
I didn't know. I did not know you were in Chicago this week. When did you get home?
I Tuesday. I'm gone tomorrow already.
So
Yeah.
your mom just went to. Did you literally do this for your mom to watch the cat?
Uh, yeah, yeah. That's exactly why I did it.
It's fun. What are you doing?
I'm just going to get coffee real quick.
Oh, it's just okay. I'll finish. So with let me just pin myself over here. Pin. We're gonna mute him. But this is a pin. Alrighty. So basically, what I have going on right here is, yeah, I think by having a guy like by having Mr. Nick Claxton available for trade, I think obviously by putting Nick Claxton available for trade, I think is just signaling where the Nets are the season. I think they were hoping that they were going to be able to build from the middle, but then I think they just realized they overachieved last year and this team isn't as good as you thought. So obviously, Nick Claxton being more available than previously advertised, according to Mark Stein for the sideline, is definitely interesting. Obviously, there's questions surrounding the Nets' long-term plans with Claxton, who's set to become an unrestricted free agent this summer. Stein added that Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, and Spencer Dinwiddie are the most likely to be traded. Now, for me, I've said this before. I do believe that Spencer Dinwiddie will be traded because he's been a detriment to the team. But what are you getting with Nick Claxton if you were to trade for him? Now, Nick Claxton is a good boy. He's a guy that this year is averaging. I mean, last year is a bit more impressive, but he's again back to back years averaging 12 and a half points. He's averaging 10 and a half rebounds this year, 2 assists, and about 2 blocks a game. And his defensive impact is not where it was 2 years ago. He was way more impactful defensively 2 years ago. And he's right now in his fifth NBA season. He's at the ripe age of 24 years old. And the thing is, he shot 70%, almost 71% last year from the field. This year, he's at 63. And the thing you're getting with a guy like Nick Claxton is, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Clax boy. He's a good shot blocker when he tries. He can be a good team defender. The thing is he's tall and lanky. And, it's not really a problem in today's league, but, you know, gets off the feet quick, block shots. He's improved well. He can guard some wings. He's a terrible free throw shooter and can't really shoot. But I do think for a team that is trying to get him on a discount, he's making 9.6 this year. So it's crazy to think about how Nick Claxton went from this sleeper draft pick to basically one of the top NBA defenders last year. So I definitely am curious to see where he goes. Jackson,
What are they trying to build in New York?
Well, I think what this is signaling is they're blowing it up some. They're building around Mikal Bridges, but I think they realized they ran it back this season, okay, for half the year
But
because
here's their issue. They weren't a good team to begin with when they traded away KD and Kyrie. It's like
well, the whole thing is
anybody
that
could have told you this.
they overachieved after the
But
All-Star
but
break.
they didn't even really overachieve. It was more so they were just riding the coattails of their of
No, but
KD and Kyrie.
they in turn no, they did overachieve. You had Mikal Bridges being a 27 points per game scorer. You had Cam Johnson being a 20 point per game scorer. And I think the team and down the stretch, they went 14-10 in the last 24 games. Like without KD, with the whole new squad, went 14-10. So I think the assumption was, oh shit, we could build from the middle. Like this might not be a rebuild, it might just be a retool. We'll run back this squad, see where we're at. And I think they got halfway through this year and they're like, oh, this team not as good as they thought. I think they thought they were a sixth seed. I think they thought they were a sixth seed or a fifth seed, which I mean, to start the season, they were really good to start the year. What were they?
Yeah,
10-1, 10 and something. They're pretty decent. And then they
29.
fucked 20, yeah, 29. It was like pretty impressive start to
Oh wait,
start.
no, that was completely wrong set.
What what is it?
I've
Either way, they
not bad.
started the season off pretty hot or pretty decent, and I think they just realized basically everybody should be available for trade except Mikal Bridges.
All right, here we go. They had a 13 and 15 record after the trade deadline. I mean, I guess that's not terrible, but
I think also you have to think about the first couple games. You take out the first 3 or 4 games because I don't think everyone played, and then I think it's like they went 12-10 or something like that. I'm not
I
saying
know,
there's
I know. I just feel like anybody could have told him that, but you know my thoughts on the Nets malpractice of their franchise. So.
well, I think the whole thing was there's parity around the league. And they probably looked at like the rosters of Atlanta. Like Atlanta's the 10th seed right now. Okay. They probably looked at all the teams and they were like, we're not that far off from
No,
us
yeah, they're not that.
from a talent
I
standpoint.
yeah. I guess we were probably hoping Ben Simmons plays more than three
Okay.
games, and
Yeah. That's another thing you think. Let's be honest, this team was on pace to probably be one of the best defensive teams if Ben Simmons stayed healthy. With Dorian Finney Smith
long and
racing
lanky,
long and lanky, yeah. Like from Claxton to
like
Simmons to
spiders.
Bridges. I hate spiders. Have you ever thought about there's no sports teams called the Spiders?
Richmond.
Oh yeah, but professional.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Sounds a little goofy.
It does sound a little goofy.
Brooklyn Spiders, like
Kind of dope. But
San
moving up,
Antonio Spiders.
continuing with the Brooklyn Nets, they have reject they have rejected 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney Smith. Smith
There's
and
no way there. No, I don't.
Brian
I
Lewis is
don't
injured.
believe the Brooklyn Nets. I don't believe a word they're telling me. Jalen Green and like 3 firsts, or Jalen Green and 2 firsts for Mikal Bridges, and they're saying no. I saw a Rockets reporter send something out like, this is getting leaked for a reason. I don't think, I don't know.
What was
It's all
being leaked?
smoke and mirrors. Like, dude, there's no way you can tell me that the Brooklyn Nets are actually declining 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith. Like,
They have to be the shittiest first-round
who
picks
do
on
they
earth.
think? Yeah, right. Like, these have to be like 2045 unprotected firsts.
Yeah.
And you know what? They
Was
might be like 2031.
yeah,
But
lottery protected with swap for the worst.
like, I would just, for it's DFS, like, I,
I believe 1 first-round pick, maybe some seconds. Like he's a good player on a good
I
deal.
know, but
The Lakers, the
I
Mavs, the Bucks, Thunder, Suns, Kings all want him.
yeah, but I don't.
I agree
The
with
Lake Show is not giving up 2 firsts for DFS. It just sounds goofy. I think
next
the Nets
goof.
are just throwing a bunch of stuff out there.
Are you ready for your next trade rumor, Jackson?
Yeah.
Colin Sexton is unlikely to be traded before the deadline. According to Mark Stein of the Stein Line, the man who's averaging 21.6 points, 5.5 assists, and 26 starts for the Jazz this season is staying in Utah. Now, Mark Stein says that Jordan Clarkson, Kelly Olynyk, and Taylor Horton Tucker are the most likely trade candidates for Utah. What do you think of that?
Well, Utah is pretty good. I don't even know. I mean, they might compete for NBA Finals ring here.
Please stop.
Taylor Horton Tucker. I'd love him on the Rock Show, but we can't take that. Clarkson, I'd take Clarkson in a second.
Uh-huh.
I would, I mean, I'm joking around with the Rockets, but the Lakers should definitely look into that. Now that Steven Adams is on the team, I don't know that I need to complicate it with Kelly Olynyk, but Steven Adams is out. I assume Kelly is on an expiring, potentially.
Do you shave your chest?
No.
I've never no never. You see this shit, bro? If I shaved, this
Oh
would
my
take
god, dude!
it would take so it would be so prickly. Oh my god.
I'll
Oh my
I'll
god.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
buy monthly. I'll buy monthly wax you.
No, that's disgusting.
Do you shave your chest, Henry? No, you got a clean chest.
I do.
All right, we got a couple
Brew,
more.
catch me up.
Well, you're late, and
I
I
said
got.
catch me up briefly. Did
Yeah,
we already
there's
talk? Well, can I get a quick primer on what you guys thought of the Steven Adams trade? Like 2 sentences each.
Franchise changer, franchise altering. I
they
can't
just
wait for Steven Adams. It's perfect. It's so perfect.
they just got a
But
bargain deal instead of overpaying for Robert Williams or any other center. They got
I
a
feel
backup,
like
a starting caliber center to be their backup for under a first round pick. A bargain bin move.
they're not gonna be done yet because Londale's still on there and Jay Sean's still on the team. I think they'll make like another small move. It's kind of complicated now with the bigs because I got Jeff Green, but I still would ideally want a backup big this year because we don't have our draft pick, which complicates. Like I want to play in spot so that we can get the experience, but I don't think they're done. I
Yeah.
just don't know what they're gonna do. If it's gonna be Brogdon or if it would be actually Kelly Olynyk or if they go for an expiring big. I loved it though. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. One of the first things I thought is like this could be like a Jalen Green enablement for next year. Because like he obviously is still kind of struggling, but you're getting somebody who has been like a really, really helpful guy for
Jalen
creating
Green's on his
efficient
way
pick and
out.
roll.
Yeah, people keep
Yeah.
saying that. I don't buy
No,
it.
it's like confirmed. It's Kelly Iko. He's out. He's not. The
What?
rumor. Yeah. First off,
This dropped overnight?
it's been for the last week or so.
That's not true. That's
Like
not
he might
true.
Jalen Green might not get traded here, but Jalen Green just hasn't grown as a player. First off,
Mm.
Jalen Green was thrown into an organizational dumpster that he was just not given. He was supposed to be someone who's nurtured, and instead of being played, just they basically threw him out there, play through your bad habits. Terrible, and he didn't have the coach to do that. You should have been under to do that. You got to play with a hard ass coach, kind of like the Spurs. Like if you look at the Spurs, even though they're like not winning, Devin Vassell's improved. Zach Collins has improved. You've seen Kelvin Johnson over like these players have like they've like developed even late round players. So what the rumor with Jalen Green is A, he's not fitting the timeline. B, it's not a problem with Ime Udoka not liking him, but it's a need of a fresh change.
He hasn't been good enough. He just
Okay.
hasn't been good enough.
It's not, yeah, he hasn't been good enough. He needs a fresh change of scenery. He doesn't fit where the team's at. He doesn't fit the team's play style.
None of this is true. I promise you he's not getting traded.
No, it's
Yeah.
better.
I think what you're gonna see is that he'll either be converted to a 6-man role or
what I think basically is going to happen is that the guy like Jalen Green is going to go ahead and I think like literally you heard Kelly Iko say it there. Like the whole expectation, they'll play out the rest of the season, and that I think what he said is they believe trade deadline, send him to a team, Bulls, Blazers, where he's just gonna get a fresh change of scenery. Nobody knows what to pay him. Nobody knows what at this point. He's just a volume bucket getter. He just hasn't like improved. I mean, people like him. They say he's a good kid. It's just that he's not. It's not that he's going to be. It's not where you want him to be at, especially with the way that Fred VanVleet and Alperen Şengün and Dylan Brooks are at, and even Jabari Smith. You're a defensive-minded team. It just doesn't make sense. You rather go ahead. If you look at a team like for example, you sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan, even though DeMar not the perfect fit. But DeMar makes more sense at this point for a team like this. This team's becoming a veteran team. So I think that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you think how much was you paying him if you're a Rockets fan? I just think the whole problem is you can't give him Anthony Simons or Tyler Hero money. You can't give him. Yeah, I guess the best case scenario, like I don't know. I see you can't get paying more than Jordan Clarkson.
I'll let my GM decide that, but I'll pay him whatever he's worth as of right now.
Let's see his rating right now. Rockets
still in his second year.
I know, but
third year.
The Rockets rating
well,
right
that's
now.
what I think is interesting. Is he could get a whole another year. They maybe they'll move in off season. It's not impossible. But I think a whole nother year where you could potentially see him grow, like be enabled, be nurtured slightly with Steven Adams, things could change. But he's definitely struggling as a decision maker. He has other flaws. He could be converted to a 6-man, but he has not been good enough. But I think this could actually help. I think it's a very fascinating part of the trade.
He is averaging 30.
I think the whole trade was due to the fact that Time Lord and the other centers were all probably costing a first round pick. You're not trying to win You're not trying to win a championship right now. And Ime Udoka wants to be a 3-point shooting team, and the best 3-point shooting teams have a dominant rebounding guy. So, and then the idea of Alperen Şengün's 3-point shot extending out to 3-point range eventually. I'm not saying that they should ever play together, but the idea that you could maybe have Alperen Şengün and what's it called, Steven Adams out there for like insane, like obviously like you would have to test in the regular season, but the idea of like just not giving up a rebound and having the ability just to shoot a bunch of threes, which with those Boston teams they were just launching threes with Time Lord. But either way, let's move on. And let's talk the rest of because I got to get out of here eventually. But Joel Embiid with the lateral meniscus injury, we talked about that. So, all right, now we're gonna go over here, and I think the interesting thing that we're seeing with the trade market is guys like the Warriors are saying that they're not going to trade anybody, but Klay Thompson and I think another person that would be of interest is Chris Paul. I think are two players that should be on the block, but they're saying Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins is most likely. I don't think Andrew Wiggins is going anywhere. So we were only getting player-to-player options or player-to-player offers for him, no picks involved. And then Chris Paul, I just think the only way you trade Chris Paul is like you call up like the Blazers and you say, I want to split, or like the Spurs, like split Paul's contract into multiple contracts, like Matisse Thybulle and like Malcolm Brogdon for like Moody and Paul or something like that. I think thoughts. What would you guys do if you're the Warriors? Would you blow it? I just don't. I think there's no player available to make you. I mean, at the same time, the more I think about it, I wouldn't trade anyone this year. All the trades I would do is in the offseason because there's no one available right now that's going to change your season. So like it'd be worthless. I just say play through it, and hopefully something happens.
I'd trade for Gafford or Capella.
Mm-hmm.
Clay's not going anywhere. I would trade Chris for sure for like a Clint Capella. I just need a rim runner big. I'd love Kyle Kuzma, but
I also tend to think they'll stand pat.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I just don't think there's any reason. There's no one that's gonna put him over. I mean, even now, I don't think DeJounte Murray's getting traded with more and more time that passes.
Trade Kaminga, but people don't want to hear it.
You are tripping, yeah.
No, him and Steph don't play well together.
But I mean, they do. I think it's more him and Wiggins don't play too well together.
I mean,
I
they're
don't
just
go.
they're just an ultimate commodity. He's just a athletic wing, just a super young athletic wing, bro. You need those.
Yeah, anything 6'7", 6'8", who can guard multiple positions and shoot.
So Andrew
And
Wiggins,
is and is growing as a player though.
yeah, exactly. That's I wish it was the whole season so his value would be a little bit higher. But I don't enjoy watching Steph Curry and Jonathan Kuminga on the court at the same time. I don't think I still need a Andre Iguodala on this team. I need an Andre Iguodala, which I want to be Jonathan Kuminga, and I think he's capable of it. But with Steph still in his prime, I would rather focus on Steph Curry in the championship window, even if it's just one more opportunity, than trying to grow and develop a guy who doesn't even fit that well with my star franchise cornerstone. But
No, I get that. I get that. Also, I did not know Zach Edey's averaging 24 points. Wild. It's actually just funny,
future
like future rocket. But let's go ahead. Let's see what else is going on here. Jayshawn Tate, why did I thought he would have been a MA Udoka special.
I
But guess
cannot watch this dude on the court with some of these guys. This man cannot shoot for anything. I don't know what I'd trade him to the Lakers. Trade him to the Warriors. Just trade him.
Well, I love Jayshawn Tate. Like big fan. Big fan.
Yeah, it's just him and Amen play so much and it just doesn't work. And it's just so Jayshawn's getting old and
Jayshawn's not even old, bro.
And he's probably 27, 28.
Yeah.
He's probably 28.
28.
Oh, so Jalen Green doesn't fit the timeline, but Jayshawn Tate does. Oh, I guess because we're a veteran team.
Yeah, basically, you're like a team that's like probably next year wants to be a deeper playoff.
No, but if you're looking at really the upside of how this team could eventually win a championship, yeah, like DeMar would definitely help them win probably more than Jalen Green does right now. And moving
but we're talking Jayshawn Tate.
For sure. But just like quick Rockets thought if I may.
Yeah, but Jayshawn Tate, if you're a team, like if you're trading for him, like I don't know. I just think when you look at him, I'm surprised he hasn't worked out for y'all because like Dylan Brooks, I don't know. I just think
he can't shoot for anything. And he's getting paired out there with another dude who can't shoot for anything.
Yeah. But what's okay then to keep saying on there, Tari Eason.
Tari Eason's a dog. He's just only played like 20 games this year.
Yeah, and we're hearing that the Knicks are like coveting him and offering Quinn Grimes as compensation as well.
Yeah, and that'll never happen either.
But like another guy, Tari Eason is someone you thought would like get minutes, like Tari Eason, Jayshawn Tate, like those all seem like MA Udoka like guys.
Tari Eason does get minutes. He was injured for half the season, and then it took him a while to get eased back in, and now he'll see.
I completely forgot Tari went to Cincinnati. I forgot about that. Completely.
It's been a stress fracture in his leg all year.
Did not know stress fracture. That's awful. All right, moving on. And with the NBA, what?
Quick segment. I talked about this yesterday because I think Tari Eason will have to get traded one day. And not this year because it just doesn't make sense. But
I think everyone not named Jabari Smith and Alperen Şengün that was part of their draft picks are going to get
Amen too. Amen and Cam.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Amen and Cam get traded. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Listen to this. They're going. Okay, the Rockets owner has literally said when
No.
he hired Ime Udoka, he missed winning a championship. Okay, part of the reason why they got Ime Udoka was because the owner, when he bought this team, in the middle of the James Harden Houston Rockets run. So all he knew was winning. Okay, and that's why he basically like got like not enthralled. Yeah, I guess you would say enthralled. He didn't like losing. Okay, so that's why he got Ime Udoka, and he just said, "Fuck the rebuild. We're gonna go ahead and like go press." I mean, you saw all the articles that
Fuck
came
the
out.
rebuild. The rebuild's completed.
It's not a rebuild. You guys just stopped doing the rebuild. A rebuild would mean you
No,
literally stop. You guys
we
didn't rebuild. You guys went and bought players and brought in new players and
what?
benched half your young dudes. You play two young dudes, okay?
Well, they
Huh?
can pilot a lot of young talent.
Yeah, and they're
They
getting
can
That's
pilot a lot of young
that's
talent.
the
yeah,
that's the rebuild.
yeah, that does not play.
You
And now
can't agree with that and say
they're
they're.
now saying that they're going to trade their young talent, except Jabari Smith and Alfred Shagun untouched.
I have not seen this anywhere.
I'll
Nobody
pull it up.
on the Rockets is saying we're trading our young talent. Why on earth would I trade Cam Whitmore this year?
Because they're going star hunting. They literally said that they're playing this offseason.
It's the worst take I've ever heard. Why on earth would I trade Cam Whitmore and Amin Thompson?
Because they literally have said that they are ahead of schedule, and the plan is that they're going this offseason. They're going to offer older young players that aren't named Alfred Shagun and Jabari Smith to go ahead and to go after one of these bigger. I'm literally pulling. I have the article right on the screen right now.
Yeah, I'd love to read that Amin and Cam Whitmore are being traded because both of those players are untouchable. Amin Thompson's a lottery pick. Cam Whitmore should have been a lot. Cam Whitmore would be selected in a lottery if you redrafted it right now.
In fact, league and team sources say Ime Udoka's insistence on making the postseason in tandem with the front office has accelerated a franchise firmly in phase 2 of its plan. Armed with a profusion of young talent and draft capital, the Rockets have quickly repositioned themselves, their internal strategy the last few weeks. Just about everything is on the table in terms of a potential move that they can go get a high level talent that is ready to win. All right. And so why is the move? They're 13-9. So basically, like I could send you the article. I want to pull it up. They basically go here that while they have been dissatisfied with rebuild, they like how the new course under Udoka still requires patience, but with Brooks, Fred VanVleet, Jeff Green, and Jock Landale and Aaron Holiday all being guys that they brought this offseason, like if you go, I'll literally go through this, you know, article, and Raphael Stone's a Daryl Morey successor, like your protege. And the whole thing is that this Ime Udoka is pushing for them to go get a stud, like not stud, but like a star level player to pair. And names that have been linked is DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine. We heard that they offered a deal for Mikal Bridges that allegedly was several young players with multiple first round picks. And the Nets said they just weren't going to talk Bridges, but that the package that the Rockets are offering are about, from what you're seeing also online, is 3 to 4 first round picks, and then
I'll fix this. I'll fix this real quick. What you're saying is you're seeing that it was never even included in that sentence that a young piece was included in that. What you're gonna hear is Jalen Green is as he just said, blue chip piece. You're not trading both Cam Whitmore and Amin Thompson. You're trading a blue chip piece if the return is a star that's going to get you over the hump. It's not saying that all of those young players are going to get traded so that they can
look. What I'm saying is
this
guys
rebuild.
on the block. So they want to do multiple. No, they want to do multiple moves. So they want a guard. They want. I think the Steven Adams was cheap, but the whole thing is they want to stagger up moves. And I think the bigger thing is that Paul. I mean, we've seen Paul George being rumored. I think if the Clippers don't win a championship, or if they fall short in the playoffs, they're going to go out and, you know, Paul George could be sold to the highest suitor, and I could see a team like that. But I don't know. I think it's very. I think they know they have the like players to go out and do multiple moves, like bring in a Brogdon by sending out, you know, just one guy and matching salary, okay, and then being able to entice the team like the Clippers, because you're not going to send those young guys to the Clippers, but you're going to call up a team like the Blazers or the Pacers or the Spurs that have older talent and salaries, and, you know, do a 3-team trades to, you know, get the assets that a team like the Clippers, who have a star player, covet. Because I mean, also Paul George hasn't signed his contract extension either, so it's another thing. think about.
I
But
don't
either
think
way,
it's infeasible. I don't think it's infeasible they would pool a lot of young dudes for a true superstar.
that's what
So
I'm saying.
Yeah, but there is no true
the fact that
superstar
that
right now.
is agreed totally.
Yeah,
The
but
fact
like
that it's article fodder though,
yeah,
yeah,
and I'm just saying
I
it's
can't
not
buy
like
that.
it's not like it's some random person. It's like Kelly Iko who has like
Yeah, but I'm saying is there was no sentence in there that included that. I understand they are open to trading
Right.
a
It's
blue
just the
chip
theory of
piece,
yeah,
and they eventually
exactly.
will.
Kelly Iko was on the podcast this week and they went more in depth on the latest athletic podcast, talking about it for like 15 minutes about all the they literally talk about Jalen Green probably being traded. And then if you go on basketball on X, they literally pull the quote of when Kelly Iko talks about it. It's just like
Yeah, Jalen Green's fine. I'm kiboshing Amon Thompson and Cam Whitmore
like
because
the
they're not
idea
getting
is
traded.
I think one of the ideas they floated out like would be like Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, and salary or not. I don't salary being packaged for a player or like a player that they might have interest as a sign and trade for Miles Bridges, and things like that. But either way, Domantas Sabonis lost out on $1.5 million from not being a All-Star. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think the All-Star snubs were as bad as they've been made seem, or do you think the everyone was deserving of their All-Star appearances? Who's your guys' All-Star snubs? Anyone?
Let me look at the West All Stars quickly.
Şengün got snubbed.
Yeah, I think Sabonis is the biggest
Snubs are annoying because there can only be so many pieces in each position, and
Trae Young's the biggest snub.
everyone's gonna complain about the snub. I like with Trae Young, it's like I try and be over 500. I understand that he's a good player and it was a snub, but at the same time, if you were above 500, you wouldn't have been snubbed.
That's a good point.
Rockets should trade for Trae Young.
I mean, they're I agree with that, but if I'm Atlanta, I don't trade. You don't trade Trae Young. All righty, what is this? Is Rui Hachimura?
Rui or Jackson? Neither.
Gigi?
No. It's
a former. It's in the Southwest. Don't you guys have former? Matt Hurt. Bro. Doesn't look like Matt.
Well, isn't it not a Grizzly?
It's somebody who used to play for the Grizzlies. He has played for the Grizzlies. I just threw that up there.
I think it's a Spur. Or OKC's in South. What? No, are they in North?
No. Pelicans?
It's someone shorter than like 6'5". It's not the height.
Yeah. They're saying, yeah, it's like a guard. A guard on either the Mavs.
Oh, it's Seth Curry.
A good one. Yep, that's it.
That was annoying.
It's because of the hair. It's because of the hair. That was good. That was good. Can we
Oh
talk
wow, that's
about
a fat or a fat headband.
Seth Curry?
Probably very effective headband.
Yeah, it's got a good absorption wick.
He just did not get any run this year.
It's all politics.
I mean, Tim Hardaway has just been good.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Tim Hardaway wasn't supposed to be this good anymore. He was like kind of regressing to the point where like he was like basically had to be traded as like a salary dump, like Joe Harris type value was like Tim Hardaway last year. Which like no offense, look at these last 2 years. Like Tim Hardaway was like we were expected Tim Hardaway to be like gone. Like they were moving on, but he just figured out how to figure it out again. Also, I always loved these 2 years. The 2 best seasons of Tim Hardaway's life was in New York when he got traded back.
Knicks legend.
Knicks legend, got drafted by the Knicks. They said, fuck you, go to Atlanta. And then they were like, wait, we need to trade you back. They traded him to Atlanta, I think, for a first round pick, and then traded him back for a first round pick. Right. They know they traded, listen to this. They traded him just for the draft rights of Jerry Grant. Nothing more. Nothing more. They just said, give us Jerry Grant's fucking draft rights. He's not even in the
Bulls
NBA.
legend.
And then they fucking did a sign and trade. Or sign and trade. No, they just signed him. They just signed him in free agency. They just let the Hawks develop him and signed him back.
I don't even remember his Hawks tenure that well.
You don't remember him on the Hawks? He was on those gross Hawks jerseys. Like, I have this jersey. Like, not his, these. I have a Trae Young jersey in red.
I think those are so ugly.
They're so ugly, dude. They're so ugly. Who decided that these jerseys would be good? No, I have the red one from Trae Young's rookie year, like Trae's rookie year jersey.
Red's got to be cooler.
Be right back.
Ugh. Looks like snakeskin. Looks like one of the first camos you can unlock in like COD.
What do you think about those like Halloween Pelicans uniforms? You ever seen those?
No.
Like they're neon. They're black mostly, but they have like neon green lining, and the court is neon green also.
The Pelicans?
Yeah, they're
Doesn't
weird.
sound great.
They're very strange alternates, but it's kind of, I don't know if I like it as a style, but it's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, I mean the red one's not that bad.
Wait, 1 second. I gotta pull off this blur. How the fuck? Stop sharing.
Oh yeah.
This is terrible. This is one of the ugliest jerseys known to man. First
Be
off,
better.
legit fan. Got his rookie year jersey, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're sick in the head.
I'm sick in the head. All right. Were you catching a plane?
That was so soothing sounding.
Well, all right. But Jackson, when do you catch your plane?
Tomorrow.
What time?
I don't know.
Should come to Little Dicky.
Not that early.
Do you have a snub though? Anybody you wanna? Oh yeah.
And Kobe White.
Kobe Jack Cheddar.
That dude is an animal. Oh my god, it's a $60 Uber. That's crazy.
From where? The airport to your house?
Yeah.
You don't park your car there?
It's not my car. And
Your mother. You're from your mother's house. You can't take the L to like O'Hare.
no. Not even close. Not even
Dude,
close to the blue line. Yeah, not even close.
You can't take a different train to the blue line.
No, it'd be just stupid for my location.
Henry, do you don't know the train system like Jackson does, or does everybody who lives in the vicinity know the train system? How do you know the train system? If that,
I just have an idea of it. I don't think I really know it.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
guess
the
you punch
red
it.
a little bit better because I took it every day, but
I would say same. I
all
just
the
punch it in. What?
all the Chicago kids I know are like fucking. They're like, oh, I take the L. Like they act like they fucking ride the L all the time.
you do take the L all the time.
I mean, it's
just
super convenient and it's everywhere. It's pretty expensive.
It's expensive.
Expansive.
Oh. I was like, if it's expensive, I feel like that defeats the purpose. But expansive, yeah, no, it seems. And one thing I do like about it, it's above ground, right? It does not go underground.
Hence why it's called the elevated train.
Oh, I thought L, like the L line. There was like,
Yeah. It goes underground. It goes under occasionally, but yeah, it's up through the city.
I don't like it underground. That's where our campus was,
Really?
down in the sewers. I was always worried someone was gonna like push
Mug
somebody
you?
in.
Wow. Put
Yeah,
somebody in.
yeah, mugged for sure.
It's,
Just
I
ongoing.
no, everyone talks about the L that there. I've never ridden it. I just know it's like very, very well used. Also, who the fuck uses Midway? Midway looks like the most
Oh,
conveniently
God, I hate Midway.
most yeah, everyone says that. Everyone hates Midway, and I've only been in O'Hare, and Midway's in the middle of the city. It's so convenient. I've driven by Midway like 10 times. It's also small. Why is Midway there?
It's like the Walmart of grocery stores.
Or of airports?
Yeah, I
Why?
just think it's kind of dungy.
Henry, have you flown out of Midway?
I have
What's your
a lot
thoughts
of
of Midway?
a lot of domestic flights fly out of there. Like O'Hare just superseded it. If I recall correctly, I think Midway existed first.
Yeah, it did. It did. I do know that.
Yeah. So I think a lot of my family's like Southwest flights have been out of there, and I think it's just a
Is it nice?
normal airport to me. Yeah.
Is it old?
Uh,
Is it
I
more
mean,
Fort Lauderdale?
it is certainly not sleek and modern looking, but I would not call it like by any sense like decrepit or deteriorating.
It's some, yeah. I just like.
I'd say yeah, it has an older feel to it. Yeah, but it's fine. It's a fine airport. 6.9
Oh,
of 10
wow.
airport.
6.9. No way.
Bro, that's a
Midway-
D plus. What
That's
you
an
mean?
O'Hare. That's an O'Hare rating.
Midway looks like Baltimore's airport in like Fort Lauderdale.
I've never been to the Baltimore airport, but I would imagine they're identical.
I mean, shit. Most airports in America are getting at least a 6.5. I've been to some dodgy airports.
So Midway declared worst airport in America.
6.9.
Henry's just a nice guy. He gives out ratings, really good ratings.
Hey, I just gotta walk around and then I find the exit. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, worst airport in the United States has been given a 6 by Henry.
I don't think
There
it's
is
the worst.
there is a giant, huge open space where there's nothing that you could put a really cool basketball court. That's my main thought on Midway.
The Indianapolis court has. I love the tweet where it's like people's flights about to smell like shit. Can some runs in? First off, there has to be no way that
hurt themselves.
That's what I was saying. That's all a liability.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get hurt real quick.
Yeah. All right. Cheers to the governor, ladies and gentlemen.
Break your wrist and hop on a flight.
Break your wrist and hop on a flight. Yeah. Just you're sitting there the whole time, like, sir, do you like a glass of water? I would like some ice.
Need a doctor.
Yeah. Anyone a doctor? All right.
I'll see you guys at Little Dicky.
You coming?
Yeah. We're going with a different crew though. I'll meet you guys there for drinks.
I'm actually pulling up with Little Dicky. Goodbye.